Good evening. The September 4th regular meeting of the Parks and Recreation Commission is called to order. Would the secretary call roll for the determination of a quorum, please?
Commissioner Colby?
Here.
Commissioner Henneman?
Here.
Commissioner Fernandez is absent. Vice Chair Gilliland?
Here.
Chair Parker?
Here.
Let the record reflect all commissioners are present with the exception of Commissioner Fernandez.
Okay. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd ask Chris to lead us.
Ready to begin? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioners, are there any changes to the agenda? If none, seeing none. Commissioners, use the touchpads. Please make a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Okay. We have a motion and a second. Commissioners, please vote.
Motion carries unanimously, 4-0.
The administrative update is the opportunity for the Parks and Community Services Manager, Leah Kollick, to provide community updates as well as department or commission announcements on current or upcoming projects. May we please have an administrative update?
Good evening, Chair Parker, Commissioners. We have a very full agenda this evening. Unfortunately, last July, our Parks and Recreation Commission meeting had to be canceled for unforeseen circumstances. So all of those topics from July have been rolled over onto September's agenda, in addition to what we had planned for September. So first up, I would like to introduce Recreation Coordinator Joseph Baker. He's going to be providing the Senior Center update.
Good evening, everybody. All right, so just here we have our PowerPoint, and we're going to go through some of the events that we have happening at the Senior Center. All right, so in August, we had our Senior Picture Day. It's our third annual Picture Day. We're actually working on trying to do like a yearly yearbook with the seniors. So my plan is after hopefully a couple years, we can have a book for every year. I think we have about 70 to 90 seniors that have been doing this periodically every year, so that's really good. So we're still kind of working on that. You can see we have some of our photos up there of some of them. We have a professional photographer on our staff, so it's very convenient to be able to do this event. All right, and then coming up in September, we have our Health and Resource Fair. Last year, we really try to push on, with the advice of Jerry here, push on health screenings. So we want to do blood pressure checks, vision tests, really anything else like hearing tests. So we have some of our sponsors that will come in and bring us different doctors that do those kind of services for us, which is very beneficial for the seniors. They also provide raffle prizes. So when the senior visits every table, we can do a little raffle prize for them at the end for stays. And then additionally, we also just had our Senior Center 20th anniversary. We had a ribbon cutting and a sock hop, so that was really fun. Seniors dressed up. We had about 115 attendants, so it was a really, really good turnout. Our room was full. We had our ukulele club that teaches there at the Senior Center come out and perform 50s themed music. So it was really fun too. So it was a really good time. All right, and then coming up in October, we're gonna have our spooktacular Halloween party. So we always like to do a costume contest. Our seniors just love to dress up, you can tell by the photos. So we usually try to do a fun craft with them, or usually like a craft or like a treat style craft where they make their own treat. And then November, we always try to do a little Veterans Day celebration, make sure we honor all the veterans we have in our community. We usually will have a veteran come in and speak. Last year it was one of our staff's husbands. He came in and was able to speak. We did set up a prisoner, a POW table, which was very, very nice. It was a nice addition to have. He generously let us borrow the supplies for all that, so that was awesome to have there for the seniors to see. And then in December, we'll have most importantly, we have a visit from Santa Claus. One of our ukulele players, really good guy, Nick, he'll always come in. He wears glasses and he has a big white beard and looks just like Santa Claus, so he's the perfect Santa Claus. So he'll just come in and help us pass out prizes and things like that. We usually have our elementary school that comes in and does a choir, so the seniors really love that too, to see the little kids come from the school down the street, and they come and they sing to us. And that's the end of the PowerPoint. But I did bring you guys a packet. So I just want to briefly go over the packet. If you guys have any questions, just feel free to interrupt me and stop me, and we'll answer those questions for you. The very first page, it's just kind of an overview of the classes we have, what days things are going on, so the seniors have an idea. So we always tell them when they come in the first of the month, grab this calendar so you're informed for the rest of the month. Our next page will be our senior moments. We try to put different highlights on there, things that are coming up. We always spotlight a senior, and I want to shout out to Loida, who is turning 100 actually on September 17th. So we're planning a little surprise party for her. Shh, don't tell anybody, please.
Loida, if you're watching.
Yeah, Loida, I hope you're not tuned in right now. Oops. So yeah, you can read a little bit about her there. We try to spotlight a different senior every month. It's just a good way to make them feel special and noticed. Next page is it's basically our free, no cost, no sign up activities. You can see we have embroidery, there's that ukulele class I was talking about, we have a painting class, we have a tech support class, different billiards tournaments, book clubs, so a lot of fun stuff going on, and those are all free, so you can just pop in, join those clubs, and get started. So the next page, we have 2 pages of our paid instructor classes. So we do have Tai Chi. We just recently expanded our chair exercise class. That one had we usually have about 44 people per Monday and Friday, and that class was full. We were able to talk to the instructor and make another class right before, so we actually are able to serve twice as many seniors now. And that class has been steadily growing, so we look forward to seeing that grow more. We also did, if you go to the next page, we just recently, it's been a little while now, but we just actually started a shared Tai Chi class. So we're really big on trying to make sure we're including everybody, anybody that might be in a wheelchair, might not be as ambulatory. We have those classes for them, those options. And then next, I'll just briefly touch on some of the groups that we have at our senior center. We have the Gem of the Valley Art Association. So it's an art group, and they just showcase different artwork. They'll have different people in there to present different artistic things. Our Parkinson's support group, which is always really good, we have that. So anybody that Parkinson's patients and caregivers can come to that and get support and resources share with each other. And lastly, we have our XYZ club, which is like a senior social club. They do it once a month. They do like a luncheon. They usually have entertainment, things like that. The members do pay a yearly due to them, or they can pay for the day to come in. But yeah, that's another fun group we have. And the next 2 pages are going to be our lunch program. We do serve a hot lunch program. We usually have, I'd say, between 70 to 80 people that eat a day at the lunch program right now. So that's really good. I know a lot of people depend on that, so we're glad to have that. The next is our lunch menu, which just kind of lets them know if, maybe they have a specific diet, something they can't eat, they don't come that day, or maybe bring their own lunch. And then we do have our fitness room that's, it's been here for a while now, but still fairly new to the center. So there's a yearly fee to that. They can come in, it's open from 8 to 3, and they can come in really anytime Monday through Friday, and once they sign up and do the orientation, they can get their exercise in. And then lastly, we do have our Feeding America mobile pantry. So Feeding America comes out to our center once a month. They come out always the 4th Tuesday of the month from 9 to 11. They provide free food boxes for any of it's not just for seniors actually, this is for anybody. They'll give one box of food per household. So anybody that would be in need can go and get that as well. And that is it. Did you guys have any questions for us?
When I look at the cost, like for instance yoga, Is that $29 a month for every Tuesday?
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's prorated to be $7 a class. So when we have like holidays, the price would come down. Or if there's 5 classes, the price would adjust a little bit.
Got it. That's really a value.
Oh, yeah.
How many, do you have a feel for how many people you touch every month?
We just did a report, and I want to say it's about, I'm trying to think, I do send Leah the numbers. I want to say it's about 17 to 19, 22. About 22 is our average. I'm trying, I know I
I'm
sent the
talking
report.
about for the whole month, for the whole center.
To people like check-ins?
Yeah, how many people do you touch every month?
So
Are you
we-
saying 2,200?
Yeah, I would say about probably between 2,000 and 2,200. Yeah, that's like our check-ins. They have membership badges that they come and when they come in, they scan in. So those will be our scans that we get. Yes.
Yeah. Wow, that's just super. Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
I just want to say I attended the ribbon cutting yesterday. It was a little warm, but it was so much cooler inside the building.
Oh, yeah.
But just a nice job, and the staff over there is just terrific. And you guys do a great job over there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else? Thank you very much, Joseph.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Do we need to do anything to check Whitney in, or?
I was just going to request that Senior Recreation Coordinator Nadine Khattab and Recreation Supervisor Laura Frosso come on up.
Okay.
They will be providing an update on the balance of the special events for the remaining part of the year. But first, we have an introduction for Nadine because she's new to our team.
We went a little bit out of order, so let's see if we can go to.
Oh, we can do it however you want to.
Yeah,
That's
no,
okay.
We'll,
All right.
we'll just go to the last slide and skip backwards. So this is Nadine. She's going to introduce herself.
Yes, well, hello everyone. I'm excited to be here. So I started working here, April now, so it's been a few months, getting pretty well acclimated with everything. I come from the Murrieta Wildomar Chamber of Commerce. I was there for about 3 years, and I'm excited to be part of our events and create bigger impact to the entire community. I graduated from the University of Redlands back in 2018 with a degree in psychology and just a lot of experience with social media, event planning, just a lot of different things. And I was born and raised in Santa Cruz, going off of these slides, but yeah.
We're very excited to have her in to expand our team slightly because our team has been very small for a long time. So yeah, we've doubled in size. Look at us. All right, so we are going to go backwards to city special events. We'll do events from now till the end of the year. So coming up here, September 11th, we have our September 11th ceremony over at Town Square Park next to the memorial. Then we have our Halloween home decorating contest in October. And a little later in October, we are doing the joint Dark in the Park trunk or treat with the police department at Town Square Park. We put on a concert and a laser light show for that event. And then the police department has the city departments that give out candy and things like that. So we collaborate together to put that on. And usually that event gets thousands and thousands of people, like probably maybe 5,000 or 6,000 people. It's very busy. And then November 11th, we have John's favorite event, which is the Veterans Day Parade, which is another very busy event. A lot of people both in the parade and watching the parade. And December 2nd through the 4th, and then 8th through 11th, we have Santa Stops. And then December 6th, we have Donuts with Santa, Festival of Trees, and that's also the tree lighting ceremony. And then we have a holiday home decorating contest in December as well. I'm not sure, it's funny that my slides look like that because they didn't initially, so my apologies that they ran into stuff. It might be like the formatting got funky on this size screen. We also have some signature events that are coming up, and signature events are events that the city sponsors. Basically, we give in-kind money towards these events, and they happen, 3 of the 4 of them happen to take place within about a month of each other. So we have the Murrieta Rod Run, October 10th and 11th, Susan G. Komen on the 12th, so very busy weekend. And then November 8th through the 16th, we have the Field of Honor here in Town Square Park as well. And that is all. Do any of you have any questions we can answer for you?
No? Anything? John?
A couple of things. The free concerts over the summer appeared to be very well attended. I do something up on the Santa Rosa Plateau that very same night every year, so I wasn't able to get there, but it looked like it was very, very well attended.
Very well attended. I would say last year we probably averaged 800 to 1,000 people each night, and this year I would say we were between 2,500 and 3,500 each of the Saturdays.
Very
so they
good.
grew a lot. I think some of it had to do with Nadine's social media, and we were really pushing the free concerts because everyone loves, first of all, anything free, but then, you know, what a great spot to have it at the amphitheater there. So they were very popular.
Okay, speaking of things not free, the Newman Hospitality Group, I went to the one concert, the Blood, Sweat, and Tears thing, and I thought it was very good. But even, I think I talked to you last night, and you thought attendance was a little soft.
The last concert that they had, the attendance was low, so they chose to cancel their next concert.
Right, I noticed the one that was coming up
Yes.
in 2 weeks has been canceled, so where are they at? It's got to cost them a chunk of money to put up the fence and do that whole thing.
I'm sure it does.
And I'm sure it's maybe a money issue.
Yeah, we had a 2-year agreement with them,
Right.
and that ends here, I believe, next month. So we're talking to them and seeing if they would like to come back in the future, or if not, there's actually a Town Square Park ad hoc subcommittee with a couple council members, and we've been talking about how to activate this space more,
Right.
and to see if there's maybe other promoters that may want to come in, or what else we'd like to do there.
Okay, yeah, I was just curious because, like I said, I thought the concert was great, but then
Yeah,
it's.
you win some and you lose some.
Yep, you do. Okay, thanks for the update.
So generally, have they been disappointed with what they've been able to achieve, or do we have it sounds like they have.
Who?
The group
Newman
that put on the
Hospitality Group?
Yeah.
I think they thought that the community here would attend more events that they were putting on. Sometimes you put on an event and you think it's going to be great and you put all this time and effort into it, and then not very many people show up. We have a lot of people that like free events here. That's why our concerts in the park are so popular. Does everyone want to spend $40 to $60 on a concert? No, not everybody does. Some people do, and it's really not that expensive in the grand scheme of things, but for some people it is. So I would say, I think they were hoping their numbers would have been a little better, but I don't think they didn't tell us we're never coming back, we're done. Like we left, not really left on good terms because they haven't officially left yet, but there's still discussions, which is great.
Right. Any changes with Santa Claus moving to the neighborhoods this year compared to last year? About the same setup?
About the same setup. We're getting ready to go out to RFP for the trolleys again, or trolley-like vehicle, something similar. But yeah, very similar to previous years.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I did attend the same concert. It was freezing that night.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It was incredibly cold.
In July, you know.
Yeah, it was so cold. But yeah, I personally, we bought one of the tables, and I don't know that I would do that again.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about Newman. I thought you
Sorry,
meant the concert
not
in the
yours.
park.
I
and
went
was
to
like,
one of
oh,
yours
it's freezing
too.
in July.
No, yeah, I went to one of yours too, which was fabulous.
Thank you.
But yeah, the Newman one, it was incredibly cold that night, and I felt bad for them because I know how much work obviously goes into those things. But I don't know that the value was there personally, because to buy a table of 4 was not cheap, you know. And then I just wonder, I mean, John and I are old enough to appreciate Blood, Sweat, and Tears, but I don't know if that's the demographic of, I don't feel like that's the right demographic for our community. That's just my opinion. I think it's a lot of families and a lot of, I know they were trying to tap into a different demographic, but it just unfortunately didn't work for them.
I think free is the right demographic for our
Right?
community.
True, but and I don't think the weather helped them because it was incredibly cold, so.
That happens sometimes. Even to our events, that happens. We think we're going to get a lot of people, and it could be 100 degrees like yesterday, or 55 during our Christmas events, and everyone leaves immediately, and we're sad about it.
I mean, that's tough because there's a lot of competition for those type of, whether you're at a winery or the free ones, or they're up on the plateau, or, but the cost to bring in a group that might appeal to people younger than Robin might be prohibited. But I hope they take another run at it, or somebody else does, because I found what they did to be, we had a good time.
Good.
It was cold.
Glad to hear you had a good time.
John, was there competition that was entertainment up on the plateau or something else? Those nights that conflicted?
Not for those nights, no. The free concerts in the city match up exactly with the concerts that the Nature Education Foundation does up on the plateau for about 3 or 4 weeks. But that's a more of La Cresta, Toulouse crowd, where free isn't the big obstacle there.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure they compete, but there are, between the wineries and everything else going on, there's a lot going on down here. So.
Thank you very much. Leah?
Good, Mr. Chair.
Sorry.
All right.
Chris?
Just a couple questions. I too enjoyed several of the free concerts. My family did, and my extended family did as well. Two questions related to that. One is an observation. There was a medical emergency. Excuse me. Sinuses are going crazy. In our area, and the fire deployed from Station 1 and pulled up over on the, I guess that'd be the south side of the complex, and had trouble finding where this was. So if there's some way that whomever's speaking to them to call in that emergency can let them know to, better access from the north side, for example. Just an observation there. And secondly, in some places, the sound can be spotty. I don't know if that's correctable, but again, that's a nitpicky issue. Over and all, our group together spanned all generations, and we had a blast. So, including my 7-year-old granddaughter who was teaching her papa how to dance.
Yeah, I appreciate the comment, and I agree. I think we did not intend to get so many people. And so last year, we had the tiered seating full, and then we had a little bit behind that, like where those cement blocks are. It went a little beyond that, but this year, it went all the way to the back. And because we do our agreement so far out, everything had already been in place as far as our sound company. So we've already talked to them about next year, we need to increase the sound, because we agree.
Great.
We did walk the whole, I walked the whole horseshoe to make sure that you could hear all the way. It just wasn't great and super loud in the back, but we'll fix that for next year.
Terrific, thank you.
But thank you for the comment.
Chris, thank you.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay.
Next up, I'm going to invite Recreation Supervisor Victor Patino, and new to our team as well, Recreation Coordinator Emily Orr. They're going to be providing what to expect for fiscal year 20, or school year actually, 25-26 at the Youth Center.
Okay. Thank you. All right. We're gonna do it the same style. I'll introduce Emily first, and then we'll go through the presentation. Okay. So I'm happy to introduce our newly hired recreation coordinator, Emily Orr, and she will introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Emily. So I've been working for the city for almost 4 years. I think in September or this month, I will be hitting 4 years. 3 years, I work part-time with the city. I mostly work at the youth center, but I've done from little ones, special events, senior center, community center. I've worked them all. I actually graduated recently with my bachelor's degree in child and adolescent development. So I feel like that also gives me a good hand in working with children. For part-time, I have helped do the schedule for all the crafts and activities that you'll be kind of seeing a little sneak peek of for September. But I'm really excited. I love working here, and someone that listens to my crazy ideas. When I say I want to turn one of the youth center rooms into an escape room, he lets me do it. So I'm really excited. So thank you guys.
Yeah. All right. We're very excited to have her. So she undersold herself. She's excellent. She's an asset to our team, and that's the reason why the youth center is what it is. So I'm happy to have her on the team. Huh? No, yeah, we did. They make me look good. All right. So this is going to be a little bit, first of all, good evening, members of the Parks and Rec Commission. There's going to be an overview kind of what the Murrieta Youth Center does in programming, but also kind of more well-rounded what youth services currently are right now. So I wanted to start with the purpose. Kind of the purpose of youth services is to serve as a positive alternative space for youth, the youth of Murrieta, to socialize, educate, and develop positive members of the community. This objective is met through peer-to-peer mentoring, responsible empowerment, and educational programming, and strong and positive supervision. And then our daily goal is to try to make every participant feel welcome, because we feel that that's very important. And with that said, we'll start with summer camps. So summer camps, we had a different version of this a couple years ago, but with our new senior coordinator, Ashley Velardes, we kind of revamped this program. We offer this for third to fifth grader students. We offer outside door games, crafts, excursions, all at the youth center, four different age groups, and we offer excursions too. Oh, look, that's fun. I did the same thing. My slides are kind of weird. We started in June 9th. We had 7 weeks of camps. Like I said, we went from June to August. We started at 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The cost was $160 per week, and then we had an additional extended hours for late pickup for $20 extra per week. We were at the brim. We were pretty much at capacity every session. We registered 580 registrants across all sessions. We met expectations and capacity. If we didn't fill up an age group, we made it so that other age groups had more capacity with our staff. So as you can see there, from every session till the last one at 92, where 80 was the cap, we made it the most with our staff, and it was a village, but we definitely kicked some butt. So, and it was a mix of on-site activities and excursions. Our excursions were walking excursions. We're trying to get kids to come out and see the sun. So we would walk to Boleros, we would walk to Mulligan's, we walked to Reading Cinema, and it was it was tough, but it was enlightening. Yeah, I think overall the experience between the mixture of having on-site activities and excursions really made the summer camps well-rounded. And here's some pictures. My favorite one is here on the left with Emily's connections. We were able to get the fire truck out there with the kids, and it was a fun excursion. But like I said, we had a variety of everything from jumpers to Mulligan to Boleros. All right.
Are you going to explain Emily's?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I'll say that at the end.
Okay.
Her mom works at Fire.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, mom works at Fire. So after school program. So this is our bread and butter. This is our at the youth center, Monday through Friday. We serve 6th through 9th graders. It's a drop-in model. Currently, right now, for the 25-26 school year, we have 229 youth registered for the youth center. We're seeing a daily check-in of 114 on a daily basis. For kind of context of last year, we had 312 total registrations for the whole school year, and we checked in for the whole school year. We checked in 18,228 kids for the school year.
Could you back up just a second?
Yep.
You moved quick on me, and
Sorry.
so you made it, I thought you said on the summer program
Yes.
that you had made some changes from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I could provide context for that. We expanded our hours, so we went for earlier in the morning to later in the afternoon. We used to navigate between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m., and that was our summer camp. That was a very small 4-hour camp, and we held it at, I believe it was like 50 capacity or 40 capacity, and then we just, we said, let's just make it happen and see what happened. And we opened it up to 80, and we extended the hours, and then it worked out very well. And we had a very good feedback.
The pricing seems very fair, but do you do scholarships for need, or?
We do have like add-on discounts for siblings, so you do get a percentage off if you sign up multiple siblings.
Okay.
And obviously, if there is further problems with assistance, obviously we could figure something out. But we don't try to turn anybody away when it comes to that.
So, how is that handled?
Well, so I know that we did have, there was a program that we signed up through the Riverside County where they would have to apply through an application, and then the Riverside County would pay the fees for them.
Okay.
That was something that
So there is an avenue?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we would provide them the resource. They would apply for them with, on third party, and then we would receive the information.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
No, you're good. Okay. So just a little bit of like the composition of the youth center. So we have a recreation coordinator who is Emily, and then we also have a senior coordinator who is Ashley, and then myself. We run the operations out there, whether it's from programming to contracts to whatever it's needed. And then we do have an average between 5 to 6 recreation leaders that help assist with the operations of the program. And we do have an annual fee of $32.20. And that's for the whole school year. And we also started before school programming, which is we extended our hours from 7 a.m. to 8:45 p.m. And that's included with the membership and the aims of trying to get them away from Kellogg's to come to the youth center. So that's been working very well. And then I'll touch on this on a different discussion, but we are also promoting daily rental opportunities for local charter schools between 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. For anything from testing and meeting, so they could have a facility for them to be able to operate out of the youth center. Yes. We have a discussion item on that, so I'll go deeper on that. Yeah. So I already talked on. So I'm going super slow on my slides over here, sorry. And then just some of the programs that we have for this year. We have karaoke, scrapbooking, hip hop, and paint and trip. How is it? Treat. Sports recap, board game club, Zenden. That sounds like my favorite one. Zenden. We had a Studio Ghibli Films Club, Mario Kart and dodgeball tournaments, and Lego Club. So all these are powered and imagined by our staff. So without them, we couldn't have our program. Here's kind of how our events calendar looks. A little bit all over the place, but you guys get the gist. And here's some pictures of last year. All right. So now the Youth Advisory Committee. We've had a challenging time trying to recruit kids for the Youth Advisory Committee, so we had to kind of restructure our approach for the Youth Advisory Committee. So now we're encouraging youth to be more involved and have more of a leadership development in our program. We're pulling from the youth center kids and also from our junior staff program to get kids to be part of the committee. So far we have had some good input. We have a couple applications, and we have some kids from the youth center that want to be part of this new revamped YAC. So we're working on that. We already have the app out on the website, and we're ready to start getting kids and doing interviews and starting the committee. Okay. And then again, the junior staff program is still going strong. This is a program where we welcome back any youth center member that has termed out of memberships. They're able to come back and do their 40 hours for their high school graduation. And in turn, this turns into work experience where they could also come back and be hired as a part-time recreation leader. Where we've had a lot of turnaround with that, which is great. We also have our new youth ARP, similar to our adult youth ARP. This program is an inclusive program that serves children from 5 to 12 with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And we do focus on inclusion, socialization, and peer engagement through themes, activities, and crafts and games. This is still a brand new program. We're still working on it, but we are getting traction. We're getting anything between 8 to 10 parents on a constantly registering for this program. And it's every second Friday of every month from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Murrieta Youth Center. And it's only $3 to sign up. And then one of my favorite ones, Little Learners. This is a dual language program. It's also an inclusive program for 3 to 5-year-olds. It's a replacement for what used to be little ones. And it's an English and Spanish program run out of Copper Canyon. It's a monthly class. It's Tuesday to Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. The cost for participants, $208.60. And we've been getting anything between 8 to 9 current registration. So that's pretty good. I think the cap's at 20, so we're steadily moving up. And it's a great program. And it's led by Isabel and Cassandra. There are our bilingual staff, and they're doing a great job out there. And here's some of our pictures, right? And always, so we want to have a goal in the future to reach. So we want to continue to expand the youth summer programs, whether it's with field trip excursions, with busing, more diverse programming, looking for more grants for funding to do more fun stuff. And then we're still working on restructuring the Youth Advisory Committee in any way, because I feel that's a ever living, changing program. Yeah, and then at some point we want to innovate and win awards. So how's Emily? Yeah, thank you. Any questions?
Chris? Sure. Just a comment. You're doing great work.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I want to echo what Chris said. You know, we've been lucky enough to get you here a few times, and it's amazing, you know, what you guys are able to cover over there and get done. And we appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, we have in the past have had a member of the Youth Advisory Committee or somebody as a panelist.
Yes.
Up here as a member of a non-voting member. Is that something that anybody's shown an interest in?
Yeah. So within that restructuring, we're going to have that same member be the rep for Youth Advisory Committee, and it would have a bigger role in giving bigger updates. And
this would typically be a high school junior or senior?
We're going to try to find the most responsible kid. The problem is trying to get the attention. The attention span is like a gnat. So we're going to do our best to get the most responsible kid.
Okay. Thank you.
To be up here. Yep.
The that program and trying to develop leadership, I think, is so important, and had that type of thing had such a meaningful place in my life when I was in high school and middle school. The tweak that you've made in changing it, I mean, you've gotten some participation already. Are you still feeling good about the changes you've made?
I feel good. I think we were looking at it a little bit different. We already had, I see it kind of like a baseball team. We already had the farm system. We have the youth center there, so why not use the kids that are already there? And then it's going to be up to us to make it look appealing to them. So I think that's our challenge, and that'll be our problem. But I think we're approaching it the correct way. There's some ways of looking at it, and what we're discussing with the team is either offering some type of incentive at the end of the school year, whether it's, I'm more than willing to donate it, but maybe some tickets to Knott's or something in that aspect where it's like there is a reward for their time at the end of the program. That's some avenues, and also some training, like actual leadership training for them to be part of.
I would tell them about the Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Oh, Jack in the Box tacos.
Jack in the Box tacos.
There you go. I think it's amazing that the junior staff program, as a lifetime recce myself, we've got to get these kids thinking in that direction, because I don't think it's often an option anymore.
No.
I mean, maybe when I was doing it, it was a little bit more. I mean, it was actual a degree in it.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just saying, like, I think that's a great way to potentially, find future staff and, teach them the love of why we all do what we have done. Plus, what a great way to get your hours, right? Because they're always like, where do I go? What do I do? And there's not a lot. At least there didn't used to be a lot of different opportunities for that. So what a positive way to do it.
Yeah,
So,
we already have 4 right now. We have four junior staff currently working at the youth center.
yeah,
Yep.
I love that.
Yep. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to say goodnight to Emily and goodbye to Emily. And Victor gets to stay.
Yeah, let me get my other.
Yes.
Over here? I do. Okay. All right. You get to hear more of me. Okay. Okay, so now this is going to be my overview for adult sports and also fee allocations. Okay. So we'll start with adult sports. So we offer adult sports here in City of Murrieta to promote health, wellness, social connections, and at the same time provide recreational and competitive sport options. Perfect for the opportunity for adults of all skill to stay active. We currently have between softball, kickball, what else we have? Pickleball. We have some good options for adult sports. Everything is online. We do offer a spring and a fall season. We have a max of 6 teams per league, and the league format is 7 games, 6 regular games guaranteed, and 1 playoff game. We've seen that the shorter seasons are more appealing than the longer seasons because adults have trouble with commitment. So we try to lessen that. So we have adult sports here, Tuesdays and Wednesdays offered for co-ed. Registration is $315. Online registration, like I mentioned. Seasons are played spring and fall. All games are at Cal Oaks, and game times are between 6:30 and 9 p.m. We also have adult men's soccer. It's offered Wednesday nights. It's $455 per team per season, fall, spring. Los Alamos Hills Sports Park, field number 6 is where all the games are played. And same difference, 6:30 to 9 p.m. are the games offered. We also have kickball. That's Friday nights, co-ed. $300 for registration. All the games are played at Cal Oaks. Same format, 6:30 to 9 p.m. We did offer adult mixed doubles for pickleball on Wednesdays mornings. Online registration, $50 per team, and it's all played out of Alderwood Park, pickleball court number 2. And those games at 7:30 to 10:30 a.m. And we did something different this last season. We had a cross-city championship. So what this is I proposed something. I have a good relationship with the coordinator that does sports at Temecula, and we had this I want to say a couple years ago, probably 10 years ago. But we had a game between the Murrieta champion and the Temecula champion, and then we crowned the cross-city champion. Unfortunately, we lost. So. We thought we were going to take the championship, but we didn't. We do have a department trophy that sits, in each office. We're going to do our best to get it back this season, but this promotes not only it's like a promotional thing for both cities to showcase what adult softball is, but it also strengthens the partnership between cities. The ultimate goal, if other cities buy in, is that we have a city tournament, and then we crown a regional manager, champion, whatever you want to call it. But it overall promotes the message of Parks Makes Life Better, right? That's the idea. And it went well. It happened June 21st, I think it was a Friday, and it was at Birdsall. It was a good event. Emily helped out. It was great. We shared the costs. We paid for the championship shirts. They provided the field and the refs, and then in turn, the next season we'll provide the fields and the refs, and they provide for the shirts. And it worked out very well. So as a partnership, we're gonna continue flowing. Kind of like I said, I already said the format, but we rotate. We have staff on site, and then we promote this on our social medias. And then for the future of adult sports, this is it's a difficult topic. I know I've seen a decline in interest for adult sports, so we have to be creative, right? I think maybe leagues are terming out, maybe tournaments are more appealing, less commitment, they're quicker, funner, more cross-city collaboration, different cities, more competition. It sounds funny, but esports is a big thing too. We could hit those Maddens, FIFA, MLB, the show. Those are very popular. We offer leagues in that capacity. I don't think anybody in the region is doing that, and if we're the first, why not? So I think we could definitely change that up. And then looking at maybe changing the incentives for the championship awards, that's something maybe at the end of the league party, tacos, I don't know, food, Jack in the Box tacos. I don't know. Maybe. I think that's the move. I don't know, maybe. So we'll see.
Factory-made tacos.
Yes, that's the move. And I think also we have to be a little bit more smarter on how we navigate our social medias to appeal. So we understand the trials and tribulations with adult sports, and we'll do our
Are
best.
other cities having the same challenge?
Yeah. I think it's the commitment part. I think a lot of, I don't know if it's commitment or generational. A lot of people don't want to play adult sports. It's like not in. So, but we're gonna do our best. Yeah.
You get people working, coming home late. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, imagine you commute, you work 12 hours to go lose a softball game. I don't know. I don't know. That's what you
They're
want to
thinking
do.
positive.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we'll do our best to figure that out. So, any questions?
Quick question, just update on the aquatics program, how that went this summer, what's going on with it now, and I'm going to ask about the pool, just because everybody asked me about the pool. But.
So if I could just interject, so that is a more expanded topic in the November agenda packet, because our season hasn't quite finished yet for the pool. You're welcome to ask questions. We'll answer, but just know that we'll have a fuller report at the November meeting.
Okay,
it's going well, though.
Just a 30,000-foot level, what does it look like this summer?
I think we hit it out of the park. Okay. I think the interests are similar to what it was when we all had Cal Oaks open.
Okay.
That's great.
All right, good.
Nobody asked me about that. How come I'll ask you?
Because it's kind of been something I brought up for the last 7 years.
I think it's like it's a thing now. Yeah.
Victor, any thought about approaching, relative to esports, approaching Reading Cinemas to see if they would do a big screen collaboration?
I haven't thought of that, but that's a great idea. We could definitely look at that. I know we've looked at like sponsorships, or and at one point we did have another contractor wanted to take over leagues, but it was just not feasible. So, but we could look into that.
Yeah, because you would imagine they're trying to drive traffic.
Yeah.
And maybe if it's packaged in a way where it's a hot dog, soft drink, or a beer, and
we're right here.
A couple hours of esports.
$15 popcorn?
Yeah. I think a lot with esports, it has to do with equipment and like logistics. Like if you don't have the proper equipment to run these games, then it's not going to work out well.
I know they've sponsored, well, let me take this back. I know that there have been birthday parties there, so I'm not sure whether kids are bringing their own equipment or whether the theater's got equipment.
Yeah, it's definitely, we could look at it. I know that we've rented out full cinemas for the excursion, so I mean it's not cheap, but that's something that we could look at, and it's very easy to just hook up. It's like hooking up to a big screen, but we would have to provide the equipment but set up the back end for the league or the tournament that we want to host.
Got it.
My grandson, let's see, he's in the 5th grade, so in the 3rd and 4th grade, the school district was doing something, and one of the gaming companies was sponsoring it and actually kind of make it happen, providing the software, and, my son-in-law was real involved with it, but, there might be an angle there to get some participation from one of the gaming companies.
Yeah, we could definitely reach out.
Yeah. If... I'll ask I'll ask my son-in-law, and then if he has any information, I'll pass it on to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. With that, we're going to bring up Park Rangers Melissa Price and Michael Melendez, and they're going to provide an update on e-bikes.
Thanks, Victor.
Yes, of course. Do you want me to move down? Yeah.
Good evening, Commissioners. I am Ranger Melendez. Tonight we're going to be going over e-conveyances, our safety overview, and kind of what we've been seeing being on patrol in parks and working with kind of PD in this kind of shared operation of just this e-conveyances issue, some people see it as, within the parks and around the city. So we'll go ahead and go over what is an e-conveyance device. So e-conveyance is kind of the overall term, split into different vehicle types, I guess you can call it. So e-bicycles are pedal-powered bikes with an electric motor under 750 watts. We'll go over why that specific number makes e-bikes e-bikes and not something else a little later. E-scooters are 2- to 3-wheel devices with floorboards and motors. And then e-skateboards are 4-wheel electric boards designed for standing riders. So kind of going over the different types and classifications of e-bicycles. This is provided by the Murrieta Police Department on their website as well as on the city website. So for electric bicycles, these are bicycles equipped with pedals and an electric motor of less than 750 watts. They come in 3 classifications. Class 1 is an electric bike equipped with a motor that provides assistance only when the rider is pedaling. It stops providing assistance when the bicycle reaches a speed of 20 miles an hour. Class 2 is an electric bicycle equipped with a motor that may be used exclusively to propel the bicycle. No pedaling required, so that is a throttle, usually on the handlebars, and stops providing assistance once the bike reaches 20 miles an hour. And then Class 3 is an electric bike equipped with a motor that provides assistance only when the rider is pedaling, stops providing assistance when it reaches a top speed of 28 miles an hour, and is equipped with a speedometer. And then we also have the electric scooters, 2- or 3-wheel device, generally with a handlebar, has a floorboard designed to be stood upon. Some of them we have been seeing come with seats attached to look a bit more like a Vespa, but that big thing is the floorboard, which can be stood on. And then it is also designed to be powered by human propulsion as well. And then electric skateboards, very similar to the regular skateboards, 4-wheel devices, although this is powered by an electric motor. So this is a handout given to us by the Riverside County that kind of classifies the differences in the different classifications of e-bikes, as well as some of the other bikes that we have seen out in the city, as well as on the market. And then on this bottom table, this is listing the electric motorcycles or off-highway motorcycles. So these are electric motorcycles, not electric bicycles. So once again, e-bikes are, the motor is a maximum of 750 watts. Electric motorcycles go up to, I believe it's listed up there, up to 12,000 watts. So these are the ones that are going 55, 60 miles an hour, generally not coming with pedals. That is the big giveaway on a lot of these. So manufacturers like Suron, Talaria, Segway, these are being advertised as e-bikes, but they are not actually e-bikes.
So this is what we're seeing on Lincoln on one wheel. This is them.
Generally, yes. Yeah.
And, or ripping through the park there at Cal Oaks on one wheel.
And just to be clear, the lower half of this chart, those are illegal everywhere. Parks, streets, trails, they're not permitted in to be on pavement, on roads at all.
So, really? So they're all over town, though? Uh-huh. Okay. Have we had any injuries in the parks here with these devices?
As far as we know, there's only been one or two. Both of them occurred at Cal Oaks. One kid was going up the embankment on the field, and he just kept going faster and faster to see how he can get air, and he crashed. And I believe, was it the fire truck? I believe the fire department and ambulance
There's
took him.
the hill coming onto Lincoln. The kids will come out and stop traffic, and they'll clear the entire street. I mean, they'll come up that hill and go clear across the whole street. I don't know how they keep from killing themselves. Okay. I mean, backing up, and I know it's not your territory but you know, twice in the last week, I've had an issue that could have killed me once, and I could have killed a kid once. So it's happening, these are happening on our sidewalks. But what are, you know, it seems to, I think, most of the people here, I would venture to guess that, you know, we've lost control of this. I mean, we've tried to get in front of it, but we were late in doing that, I guess. Anyway.
In your presentation, is there anything about police department and the,
Yeah.
so it's coming in the presentation?
Okay.
So on this slide where it is the showcase provided by Murrieta Police Department on where e-bikes or e-devices are officially allowed to operate. So generally e-bikes, so once again, max of 20, 28 miles an hour, depending on the classification, are allowed to be operated on the sidewalks and at city events, as long as there is not a sign, at least with city events, as long as there's not a sign saying no e-devices when posted. But they, as long as they yield right away to pedestrians.
Maybe going 20 miles an hour?
Yes.
On a sidewalk? Okay.
According to the ordinance, e-devices are not allowed at parks, playgrounds, and school grounds. So that is the official ordinance that we are working with the rest of the department to get posted, as well as Public Works to have posted within all the parks on the park signage at all the entrances to further educate these e-bike riders that fortunately it's not allowed within the parks. And then e-bikes are allowed to operate within a bike lane and then to move out, similar to a bicycle or a regular bike rider when operating near the street, as long as they're only doing so with a reasonable safety. So helmets, that is one of the big things, especially you guys have probably seen. So when it comes to helmets, we'll check. So when operating any type of e-device, riders, especially minors, are required to wear a helmet at all times. This is with traffic, the vehicle code, as well as city ordinance. And then things that are required on e-bikes are, especially after sunset, we have a requirement with the ordinance to have a front-facing light and reflectors on both wheels, as well as on the back of the bike, to help with visibility after the sunset. So similar to bike riders, they have to follow the rules of the road. So e-devices, when traveling, whether on the road or in a bike lane, should be traveling with the flow of traffic. When it comes to passengers on bikes, that's going to be, passengers are allowed as long as it's the manufacturer, the bike is designed to hold passengers. Most of these e-bikes aren't like, you'll see kids riding on spokes on the BMX bikes. They're not going to be developed with that, and that is also not a proper way to ride as a passenger. So unless the bike is designed specifically for multiple passengers, it is only one at a time. With the ordinance, headphones and earbuds are prohibited when operating any e-device. This is to make sure that they have the full alertness of their surroundings when operating these devices. So that's going to include headphones, earbuds, AirPods, Bluetooth, as well as wired. E-devices, e-riders, they have to obey the traffic rules of the road, the traffic stop signs and lights. Failure to abide by this can result in fines, as well as we have a, sorry, I'm having a brain fart. Speed limit for e-devices within the city is 28 miles an hour. With a recommended speed limit on bike paths of 20 miles an hour. So that'll be bike paths as well as sidewalks yielding to pedestrians.
So 28's not a sidewalk thing? It's a street thing?
Yes, on the street it's 28, excuse me, and on the sidewalk it's 20 miles per hour, and as well as trails as well.
Okay.
And then similar to what this last one's saying, e-bike riders are not exempt from the rules of the road. Should they fail to abide by traffic laws, it can result in fines or citation. So parking restrictions, they're not allowed to park any device on a sidewalk or upon public right-of-way. They are allowed to be parked appropriately within, next to bike parking, so with bike locks, or where designated by signage within parks. So parent guardian responsibilities, a lot of what we're seeing is minors riding on these a lot. And so when it comes to ordinances and the vehicle code, the parent of any child and the guardian of any ward shall not authorize or knowingly permit any minor child or ward to violate any of the provisions of the new e-conveyance ordinance. This means parents can be held responsible for ordinance traffic code violations committed by their children, as well as injuries and damages as a result of failing to abide by the ordinance. So the parents would be held liable should anything happen.
If they knew about the behavior or just in general?
I believe in general, yes. So when it comes to fines related to e-devices, riders and operators of e-devices can receive citations for violation of California Vehicle Code, as well as the Murrieta City Code. Below on the Murrieta PD information bulletin, they have listed their fine amounts, as well as when it comes to park violations, we will generally follow this, or within park ordinance, it'll be the $100 fine for first offenders. So I kind of hit on this earlier, but not all e-bikes are legal e-bikes. So Suron, Teleria, and Segway, they are not illegal e-bikes. These are off-highway motorcycles, electric motorcycles. They are not allowed to operate on roads, sidewalks, parks, or trails. They must be DMV registered for off-highway use, and they cannot be modified for street use.
So the tell is they don't have pedals. Is that the tell that they're illegal?
That's a pretty good tell right off the bat. So similar like with like a dirt bike, an electric dirt bike, that's going to have a higher motor, not 750 watts. No pedals is definitely a good giveaway. The big difference with like a dirt bike, it can be modified to become street legal. If you register it, you get the license plate, the light, the blinkers and brake lights and all that. Similar with motorcycles in general, but with off-highway vehicles, motorcycles, these cannot be made street legal.
So the bike that's going down the street, going 28 miles an hour, can be a 9-year-old?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
So like the slide says, ads or retailers, they're looking for sales. Don't be misled. Many of these off-highway vehicles are sold as e-bikes, but they do not meet the California legal definition of e-bikes with that 750 watt engine limit, as well as generally having pedals. Pedals or lights do not make them street legal, and then they will have a VIN number, certificate of origin, and DMV eligibility for these off-highway vehicles to be registered with the DMV. So our e-bike ordinance, this is once again given to us by the Murrieta Police Department. So this lists our kind of enforcement points when it comes to the city in general, as well as our parks in specifically. So once again, parents or guardians of any child shall not authorize or knowingly permit any minor child or ward to violate any of the provisions of this chapter. All e-devices shall yield the right of way to all pedestrians, equestrian riders. All riders must give verbal warning when passing a pedestrian, equestrian rider. All passengers are required to have their own seat, and this device must be designed to handle more than one occupant. All e-bikes shall have a front-facing light after sunset and reflectors on both wheels and on the rear of the bike. No operator or rider shall wear earbuds or headphones while operating any e-device. E-devices that can go 20 miles an hour or faster are prohibited from bike paths. No e-devices shall operate on any playground, park, or school grounds. Helmets are required for anyone under the age of 18. All riders must use hand signals when changing directions, and all e-devices shall use a marked bike lane if present and must obey all traffic signals and signs. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions.
So do we know if anybody in the city, the police department, or the schools are doing anything to tutor these kids on the rules and regulations and how not to kill 71-year-old men?
I believe the school resource officers that are out at the schools, they teach the kids, they give them safety classes, and they educate them on e-bikes. I know they don't allow them on the school grounds, so they just leave them parked there. They're not allowed to ride them. But as far as we know, that's what the PD is doing at the schools.
So in addition to that, the police department is conducting kind of sting operations as well. They're using their drones because the kids on these particular devices will not stop. Even, they're not stopping for the Rangers, for sure. And they're not stopping for the PD all the time as well. So during certain times of day, certain areas of the city, the police department deploys their drone units, and they follow the kids home and contact their parents, reach out to them. Sometimes the bikes are confiscated. So there is some proactive measures. Obviously, they can't do this 24/7, but they are making some inroads in preventing some of the kids from mowing down other people on sidewalks. And
my problem's been, it's just bizarre. Just you're not trained, or you haven't gone through an experience where you're looking at somebody coming down a sidewalk at 28 miles an hour. So you're just not totally, I mean, this week I stepped out right in front of one. And, you know, when I actually took the step out, the kid was 15 feet down the road. Yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure, but I believe there's also some state legislation that's making its way through the Assembly on safety courses that are mandated, stickers that have to be placed on the e-bikes that verify that they have taken the training courses, and certain licensing that everybody has to hold. I can do some further research on that, but I believe there is some legislation trying to make its way through the California State Assembly.
I don't know. Do you know if we received the this presentation in our packet?
No, but I could provide all that information. All the ordinances.
Yeah, everything, you know, everything he just laid out, I'd love to get a PDF of that just to kind of.
Yeah, I'll provide the PDF and all the ordinances, all the documentation.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, and thanks a lot. I know this has got to be a really unique, new challenge. Any questions?
Do we have, and I know the PD's not here tonight, do we have any numbers on actually how many fines have been levied, how many bikes have been confiscated? Sounds to me like the fireworks thing where we threaten all this stuff and never do it. or very rarely. But I don't know that for a fact. And I like that. And from a park ranger point of view, you can cite these people on these bikes if they go through the park, correct?
Yes, we can.
And how many citations have been written?
We have not written any citations as of yet for e-bikes.
Okay.
We've been instructed by PD that if we see them and we're able to stop the person on the bike or juvenile, to contact them.
Yeah, but
Hold them there and contact them, and then they'll.
Leah was just saying they're not stopping anyhow.
Yeah, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they do. We are able to stop some and converse with them, educate them. Sometimes we don't see them again at the park. Sometimes we do. But that was our instruction from PD. But if we do need to cite, we will write them a citation.
So you call PD, PD comes, does PD then, is your experience that they then cite?
Yes, the issue is that a majority of these kids are minors. So technically, we as park rangers cannot cite to a minor. So that's where the PD steps in.
That's a big issue, yeah.
Yeah, I was like you, I appreciate the ordinance and going over it like that, but my experience is probably like yours, is I don't see anybody really paying attention to that, and where they're riding down the streets and doing wheelies. It's not a big problem in my neighborhood. I'm near an elementary school, but you're near middle school. And the other question is school grounds. My next a kid in my neighborhood goes out every morning on an e-bike, and he's got his helmet on, and he's a responsible kid, and he goes to school on it. So if you're not allowed on school grounds, what are they doing with it when they get to school?
They're allowed to park the bike at the bike racks, which are on the outside of the school. They're not allowed to enter the school grounds, like to park them inside, whether the playground
That would make
area or
sense,
whatever.
but if they weren't allowed in the parking lot, then, I don't know. It's an issue. I think you're right. I think the best efforts are being made to get ahead of this, but I was in Best Buy today, and they're selling e-bikes instead of CDs anymore.
So I'm going to provide an example over in Temecula. That's where we live, and with my kiddo as a sophomore. So what they've introduced this year is a training program. Any child with an e-bike has to go through a particular training program. And to verify that they've gone through the training program, they have to do it fairly regularly. They get a sticker, just like you would on the tag on your vehicle. They have to get a sticker, and that gets placed on the e-bike. Just like in Murrieta, they're not allowed on campus. They have to be parked outside. But that's what they've introduced this year. So
So that's Temecula PD or the city schools?
Well, Temecula doesn't have their own police department.
Well, the county.
Sheriff's,
yeah.
Riverside County
So
Sheriff.
the sheriff generates a sticker that goes on the bikes?
Yes.
And then if they get stopped and don't have the sticker, they get talked to or whatever?
The bikes get confiscated.
Oh, even better.
I'll say in Murrieta, where we do have our own police department, is there an effort to coordinate between, if some kid pulls up and he's ready to go at school, but this kid's got 3 fines on him, maybe he's not allowed to park at school anymore? Is there a sticker program, or is there any way of identifying that?
We can reach out to the police department, follow up on some of these questions, and
You've got some
provide a report back to.
Some habitual violators, and they're riding to school every day, and maybe there's some way to coordinate and say, hey, okay, Jimmy, you got 3 fines, you can't park here anymore. I don't know, just an idea. I mean, the bottom line is keeping these kids safe, and
Yes.
Paul's right. I mean, my big fear is running into one of them, because you don't see them coming, you're pulling out of your driveway, and they're going 28 miles an hour down your sidewalk.
And his family has to live with that. We have to live with it.
Oh, absolutely. And unfortunately, in these circumstances, it takes something like that happening and we don't want that to happen.
I think they had a fatality in Temecula, did they?
Pardon me?
A fatality
Off
in
the
the
top
last
of my
6
head, I can't recall.
Yeah.
They had a kid get hit on Scott Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, on an e-bike.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know if he died, but it was pretty bad.
Yes, it was.
Well, we appreciate the efforts, and I know it's, the other thing I hear is, kids riding through, there's a softball game going on, and kids, tearing across the outfield on their bikes and everything.
At Cal Oaks?
At Cal Oaks, yeah. I've seen that, and I know it's I don't know if it's a no-win situation, but I think we just need to be as aggressive and promote the safety of it. We're not going to do away with them unless the state makes an action to somehow regulate them, but figure out a way to deal with it that the kids can be responsible. And probably 80% of them 70% of them are responsible out there, but you're going to get, it's like
60.
drivers around.
60.
It's like drivers around here. 80% of them are pretty responsible, and there's 20% that just don't care. But we just don't want to get anybody to get hurt.
Anyway, we appreciate it. Thank you for the effort you put in, and thanks for helping with our parks.
We'll make sure the commission gets a copy of the slide deck.
Yeah, it would be good to have. Okay. Anything else? Any questions, guys and ladies? Okay. Leah, do we have anything else on this?
Did you have
Mr. Chair.
anything, Victor?
Quick
No?
question.
Okay, so that concludes administrative updates.
Okay.
Can I pivot with you as long as we have you here?
Yeah.
What about violence, not violence necessarily, but, excuse me, vandalism at Cal Oaks and Los Alamos and that type of thing?
That is going to be explored more heavily in the November meeting. Just right quick, the agenda item that is going before council on September 16th, I want to say, will be a request to install flock surveillance cameras at California Oak Sports Park and Torrey Pines Park. So I can go into maybe a little bit more, but I will have more details and the deployment plan at the November meeting for the commission. So that will help, hopefully, with the vandalism, graffiti, and the other criminal activity that's taking place currently at California Oak Sports Park.
Just from the 30,000-foot level. Have we made, is the problem at Cal Oaks improved?
Not really. Last night, there was a group of kids on the roof of the restrooms, and they tore off all the tiles.
Did we catch them?
No, we did not. It's taking place during times when we don't have patrols. It's after the Rangers go home at 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Chris, you and I could go over there and get a cigar and sit out. Okay.
So what we're hoping with these flock cameras, there's different types. There's license plate reader cameras, there's pan, tilt, zoom cameras, and then there's stationary fixed cameras. So we're going to utilize all three types to cover the sports park, and they have been deployed with the police department for a couple of years now, and the police department likes them very much, and they are backing this agenda item that's going to council on the 16th. I will have a fuller report for you in November on that.
So that we're not behind the curve on this, I think it would be wise if those of us that have observed this or been talking about it for months on years now, to speak to that issue at the September 16th meeting.
I will not stop you at all.
So if you could let us know when, you're sure it's on
I'm 100%
9/16?
positive it's going on the 16th. And it's slated right now because of the dollar amount just to be placed on consent. But I would, if I was a betting person, I would bet that it's going to be pulled and discussed further by council.
Okay.
I had a question. With all of these e-bikes and the issues that have been occurring, I've been talking about this for a long time. Is the city looking into any options for these young kids? Because they really don't have any places to go in this city. We have tons of tot lots. We have a skate park that is way outdated. They have nowhere to go and hang out and be kids. Whereas, you're in Temecula, they've got 3 beautiful skate bike parks. Is the city looking into anything to do for these adolescents?
The short answer is yes, 100%. So the Parks and Recreation Master Plan was just approved by council in June, and we're currently going through the process of prioritizing all of the recommendations in that document. One of them is pump track, and I know that is one of the projects that is either on a tier
for council goals. I think it's on a tier 2. So it's also coming before the Parks and Recreation Commission. The prioritization of the recommendations in January. So you'll be able to look at what staff's recommendation is, put your thoughts on that, bump things up, put things down as well, and that goes to council in addition to the community's input as well.
Okay. Thank you.
So, Mr. Chair, this is off topic, but Leah, did we as a commission have an opportunity to look at the master plan?
Yeah, it went before commission. It was approved by you all.
Yeah.
It's been a while, Chris.
Yeah, I think it's on here.
Okay,
actually.
got it, thank you.
It's on the website. So in addition to sending you the slide deck for tonight on the e-bikes, we can send you the direct link so you don't have to hunt for it on the website. But the approved Parks and Recreation Master Plan, as well as the approved Trails Master Plan, are both on the landing page for the Parks and Recreation site. We good?
We're good, I think.
Okay, so I'm going to excuse the Rangers. Victor gets to stay up for right now, but we're going to conduct some consent item business before we get to the discussions.
At this time, we will take public comments. Any person may address the Parks and Rec Commission on any subject pertaining to city business which does not relate to any item on tonight's agenda. Normally, no action may be considered or taken by the Parks and Recreation Commission on any matter not listed on the agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Madam Secretary, do we have any non-agenda public comments?
Thank you, Chair. There are no non-agenda public comments.
Okay, thank you.
And before we move on to the consent calendar, I would like to note we are having some technical difficulties with Commissioner Fernandez's touchpad. So during the voting process, I will manually enter your vote.
Okay. All matters listed on the consent calendar are to be considered routine by the governing bodies and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. There will be no discussion of these items unless before the governing body votes on a motion to adopt, specific items are removed from the consent calendar for separate motions. So do I read all of these items, Madam Secretary?
Yes, I'm sorry.
I read them all?
Yes.
Okay. Approve the minutes of the May 1st, 2025 regular Parks and Recreation Commission meeting. May-June Recreation Activities and Events Report. July-August Recreation Activities and Events Report. May-June Parks Project and Maintenance Report. July-August Parks Projects and Maintenance Report. Commission, are there any items the Commission would like to pull from the consent calendar? Seeing none, Commissioners, use the touchpads. Please make a motion and a second to adopt the consent calendar.
Verbal motion?
We're not.
They're all stuck.
They're all stuck, maybe.
I'm sorry, are you not able to motion?
No.
Okay.
It's froze up.
Okay. Okay, we'll do it verbally.
We're back frozen at approval of agenda.
Okay.
That's where we were frozen at.
All right. So can I have a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar?
I'd like to motion to approve the consent calendar.
Okay.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Commissioners, please vote. Do you roll call?
Yes, one moment. Okay, yes, I will do a roll call vote. Commissioner Colopy?
Yeah, aye.
Commissioner Fernandez?
Aye.
Commissioner Henneman?
Aye.
Vice Chair Gilliland?
Yes.
Chair Parker?
Aye. Okay.
Let the record reflect. Can Consent calendar passes unanimously, 5-0.
Okay.
It's back.
Here we go. What came up? Something changed.
It's working again.
Okay. All right. We're on to discussion items. And the first item is charter school use and expanded use of the youth center. May we have a staff report, please?
I'm going to turn it over to Victor.
Victor, long time no see.
Long time no see. I'm back at it again. Okay. So I'm going to provide you kind of our extended use for the youth center and kind of what we came up as a team for the use. So a little bit of background. Our goal was to create a well-rounded youth services program for the Murrieta Youth Center. Historically, the youth center typically only operated after school, Monday to Friday from 3 o'clock to 6:30, leaving mornings and days just unutilized. So collectively as a team, we figured like how can we expand the hours, and also two, how can we utilize the facility to its maximum potential. So staff identified the opportunities to expand hours, partnerships to better serve families and schools. So we started a pilot program to open before school. Kind of, it's funny, we're talking about Cal Oaks and vandalism and all that stuff. So a little bit of that started because a lot of our kids in the mornings were just hanging out at the park with nothing to do. They were in the skate park and the restrooms, XYZ, you know, with school starting later than, I mean, school used to start at 7 or sometimes 6 o'clock. Now they're going to school at 9, 8:45. They don't have time to do. So we figured that with the membership, we would extend the hours to before school, and open it up from 7 o'clock to 8:45. We would open the youth center in the same capacity that we would open the after-school program. So we would open up the PlayStations, the computer labs, the homework rooms, in case, we have those kids that don't know the homework the day before and now they're rushing. And so we provide them the same safe space that they have after school, but before school. And we figured we'd give it a 2-year trial and see how it would go. The first year, 24, 25, we had atrocious attendance. Anything from 8 to 3 to we were just rolling with the punches. So we were very minimal people. We put it out there. We talked to parents. We tell them utilize this resource, for commuting parents and then things like that. Move to year 2, and we're seeing 30, 40, 45 kids showing up now. So now it's a constant use, and I'm seeing this only going up now that they know that they could come after school, use the youth center the same way they use after school. Emily could be, a test. She's there in the morning. It's the same kids every day. It's the same 30, 40 kids that show up to play PlayStation, to be on the computers, or I forgot to do my homework. It's the same repeat that we have going on there. So the increased demand is there, and I think we're going to continue doing that, and it's going to be one of our big pushes when we advertise for membership, is that we're open also in the morning as also in the afternoon.
And these are all, I'm guessing, Chevelna kids.
My majority, I would say like 90% of our kids, obviously because we don't have transportation, is Chevelna kids.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
What did you do differently between last year and this year? Anything to draw that?
I would say we collectively as a team, we've been a little better at social media. I mean, with Nadine kind of putting the gas pedal and kind of amping us up. I think the youth center, Emily's great at social media too. I think collectively we're posting better. We're not just using static posting and flyers, we're doing videos and things like that. I think it's catching up. Their traction is giving us traction. So I think we're getting more eyes, and the information is more readily available on the websites, on our social medias. And I think also putting that one at the beginning of the year when parents go to register, that's a focal point that we emphasize, like, hey, like, what time you go to work? Oh, well, we're open at 7:30. Go drop off your kid. Yeah, so that's one of the focal points there. And then the other test pilot that we kind of figure out, I think the charter school sector is not really, touched at all. So we figured that we partner up with a local charter school, and give them the opportunity to test it out just for us too, because we've never, in the history that the youth center has been open, we've never had renters at the youth center. So we wanted to see if we could have the capacity or the facility had the capability to host large events in that facility, because the way it's laid out, it's a little funny for that. So we partnered up with Sage Oaks Charter School, and we gave them the ability to host all their PLCs, all their teacher trainings, all their student evals, and their physical assessments, and even their career days. All that was a test last year, and it was very successful. I think the way they utilized that it was to the T. So in a perfect world, we would have the youth center open in the morning for the kids, transition to charter school use, transition into after school program, and then we utilize the facility to its most to its capacity.
In that process, you found the right price?
So in that test pilot, there wasn't a charge for the PLCs, but for the career day and the physical assessments, we were looking at fees that are comparable to our community center, and I'll touch base on that. So with that being said, those expansions kind of led to, okay, now that this is working out, we have to develop a reservation form for the youth center and go through all those provisions, all those legalities, all those waivers, all the insurance requirements. So having a standardized reservation form was created. We have policies and procedures, and then the expanded use for charter schools is not just for Sage Oak, the way we're seeing it. It'd be great if we reached out to all these charter schools and offer the facility, and then have it reserved first come, first serve. And then that way we have an itemized reservation list for all these charter schools to use the facility in that capacity for trainings, for student evals, student one-on-ones, while staff is there and they have a facility that has Wi-Fi and all the technology needed to host those. Because a lot of the charter schools don't have that ability to do that. And then so through that, we had to, I believe it was best to coordinate our fee schedule with what we currently have. Why invent the wheel? We kind of just, what we had at the community center is similar to what we have. They have a kitchen, we have a kitchen, they have a multi-purpose room, we have a multi-purpose room. Why change it up? So we have the same fees that the community center has. So deposits range anything from $300 to $700, depending on your status, whether it's nonprofit, for-profit. There's a tier base there. Hourly rates, the same difference. It fluctuates between your status. Charter schools typically navigate on a nonprofit base rate, and that's how they're charged. Additional things like technology, kitchens, those are additional add-ons for flat fees, and they all have to meet our requirements for renters. So those are the basics for any reservation throughout the city, whether it's community center, town square, park, or any of those. We just want to align those together. And the benefit that I see here, we maximize the facility use. We haven't done that in the past 10 plus years. We could generate revenue. Obviously, we're not here to make money, but cost recovery, and then also strengthens the community between the school partnerships. It could even be through Murrieta Valley School District, or it could also just be the charter school. So there's areas where we could talk and figure things out there. And obviously, it's just the biggest thing is the mission is to have a well-rounded youth services program in overall. So we're going to continue doing this. We're going to send out email blasts to all the charter schools. We identify the nearest ones in Murrieta, even outside of Murrieta, just to see where we're at. And we're going to track this year 2, see the demand for this. Sage Oak is already back with us. They're already reserving. They already reserved all their PLCs and their trainings and their physical assessments for the rest of the year to 26. So we already have them in the books. And that's how we want to do it. We want to have it long-term for the school year, so that way we could assess, because it's not going to be every use, but we'll have kind of a cushion of knowing how to reserve these schools so they don't overlap, and also it doesn't conflict with what we got going on. And then, like I said, we continue tracking, and then obviously evaluate the sustainability and revenue potentials for those programs. And yeah, that's kind of the gist that I have for you guys. If you guys have any questions, I'm here to answer.
How long this idea been percolating?
To be honest, it did spark from Brian Crawford. You know, he has kids in charter schools and
Ambrose.
Ambrose, sorry. What did I say?
Crawford.
Sorry, there's so many Brians in the city that you can't keep track. So yeah, Brian Ambrose, he you know, he's an advocate for charter schools, and then we felt like, hey, I got a facility that could fit that description. So we started marinating on that idea, and also just trying to do something different than other cities are not doing or utilizing. We have a unique situation where we're the only youth center kind of in the region, so we just gotta be the best, and I'm very competitive, so I'm trying to be.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other statements or questions?
Well, I just wanted to say that it's great because I used to homeschool my kids until recently, and I know a lot of the STEM programs, a lot of the vendors, we would have to go through churches to try to get space available. So I think that it's wonderful that you're starting to open up to the charter schools. Look into the charter schools that have homeschoolers, that have pods. They will use these rooms weekly because I know a lot of times testing is like quarterly, you know, things like that. So you might even get more use by reaching out into those homeschoolers.
Yeah. And that's something that we're definitely, we're not going to try to leave anybody out. Like I said, we're going to try to reach out as many people as possible. Like I said, to well-round our youth services program.
Yeah, that's great.
Just baby steps.
Baby steps, yeah.
Good job.
We're trucking along.
Okay. Anything else? John? Okay. Thank you.
Hallelujah.
We could just say,
don't.
Go home now.
we could just say goodnight to Victor, and we'll bring up Nadine and Laura one more time.
Thank you, guys. So you guys tired of hearing? I know, I missed it. I didn't hear I got Jane Hurts in my fantasy, so that's fine. Good luck, please.
Thank you, Victor.
All right, so I guess we're gonna dive into our social media performance. So this is based off of between May 27th through August 28th, so last week, in comparison to the previous 90-day period. So that's kind of what Facebook and Instagram polls for us. So yeah, let's dive in. So bear with me, there's a lot of numbers and metrics and whatnot, but it's all going up. So we're gonna start with Facebook. So we've seen a really significant momentum over the past 90 days on both platforms, but specifically Facebook, we've seen, like it says up on the slide, over 1 million views. So that's up 63.8% since the previous 90-day period. So that's a high spike in visibility just overall. Our major drivers of these views is our June and July event coverage. So that was including the Father's Day car show, birthday bash, and then all the way through all the concerts in the park. So those were extremely high. The next slide will show kind of the most popular posts, so hang on for that. So our engagement and interactions jumped significantly as well, showing that our audience isn't just scrolling past our posts, but interacting with them and really engaging. So they are connecting, so that's awesome. And then our follower count as well pretty much doubled since the previous period. So that puts us at 740 new followers on Facebook, so that was really great. And then we also had a jump in page visits. So people are seeking us out directly, so not just discovering it through the feed and whatnot. So that was really great.
So when you're comparing the last 90 days to sometime in the summer, what about if you jump back a year to look at that same 90 days?
Yeah.
Have you done that?
I have not. Okay. I'll check to see Facebook's. Sometimes their capabilities constantly change, so that's always fun. But I can definitely try to pull
it'd be interesting. It'd give you apples and apples rather than kind of apples and oranges.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Quick question: when you say us, are we talking the city's website?
So this is specifically the Parks and Rec / community services.
Just the Parks and Rec, not the police department.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's specifically, and then I have been inviting the main city page as a collaborator for a lot of things. So that also helps our engagement, but with us consistently posting, we've created a schedule for our specifically special events posts to be Wednesdays and Fridays, and then any additional leading up to large events. So we found that the consistency is key, really, with social media. So, any other questions on that? Nope. Okay. So what's working? So basically, any images of crowds, people like to see people. That's what I've learned. So just focusing on things like that. As you can see, these are kind of our top performing posts from the last 90 days. So birthday bash, over basically 170,000 views with a ton of interaction and shares. Through concerts in the park, I think the lowest engagement really there is for 47,000 views, which is amazing as well. But as you can see, each post is getting a lot of shares, so that's been incredible. But yeah, so people, when they see other people, they're like, oh, they can visualize themselves being at our large events, essentially. So, and then what we've noticed is that the static images, so this is specifically for Facebook, as opposed to videos, outperform on Facebook. I don't know if it's the algorithm, whatever, but I think people gravitate to photos on Facebook as opposed to videos. And then kind of key takeaways for Facebook is that we're not just growing, but we're growing in the right way, which is like with meaningful engagement. We're not just gonna post just to post, but like things that people are gonna actually want to see and engage with. And then kind of focusing on the future is to continue highlighting these events and showing these community experiences and moments that residents can feel connected to. So that's Facebook specifically, and then onto Instagram, which is very similar. Again, this is the last 90-day period. So Instagram, we saw about 330 total views. 30% of those are from our followers, and then 70% is from non-followers, which is actually really good. That means our content is being seen and found and just discovered. Reach is up 158%, profile visits are up 126%, and link taps, so within our, on our bio or stories, is up 178%. So that means our content is pulling people in. So, and then overall engagement is just about balance between our followers and non-followers, and we've had nearly 1,000 new followers within the last 90-day period. So, and then what's working on Instagram is, so again, events and community-focused content is continuing to be a driver. And then for Instagram, on the opposite end compared to Facebook, is Reels. So Reels are huge. I've been putting together just little clips from all of our different events leading up to promoting those events, and people have been engaging with those like crazy. So we'll just continue to do that, and yeah, so it's really those like really short reels that engage people. People's attention spans are really very low, so just kind of capture them within those first like 5 to 10 seconds is key. And yes, so
if I could just jump in and mention one thing real fast. We're trying to be strategic about this, so we're not just randomly posting things. We have like a plan. So before each concert, we had the band send us little videos that we could help promote their bands and help promote the events. We're trying to just not throw up random stuff. We're really trying to be strategic, and it's really working.
Yeah. And keyword is intentional too.
Yeah.
Very intentional with our posts. But that was a good. And yeah, and then our reels have been seeing like anywhere from 5,000 to 12,000 views as well. So that's been really great. And then kind of key takeaways. So discovery is strong. So and engagement is growing, and our content strategy is effective. So, Lord. And so then our ultimate goal is to continue being that consistent and to continue exploring what is resonating most with our audience. Social media is also just ever changing, so just kind of staying with those trends. What we can be posting right now could not be relevant, let's say, in a week from now. So just kind of staying up with those trends and seeing what people are engaging with the most is kind of our strategy, and see how that's going. And then just kind of an overview of our total followers. So on Facebook, we're just a little under 10,000 followers, and that's putting us, and then like I mentioned earlier, is 700 new followers, which is basically doubled from the previous 90 days. And then Instagram, 5,200 followers, and up 18.5%. So overall, both platforms are showing really strong growth and spikes driven by major events. Yeah. And then that's it.
You guys have any questions for?
So, you know, I can go to YouTube and learn how to extract a tooth. Is there a place where you, I mean, can take a class or fine tune what you're doing here, or is it just kind of practice and see what works and what doesn't?
For me, it really is just practice and honestly just researching. I look at other Parks and Rec or cities who are, you know, their Parks and Rec social media platforms.
Yeah.
Just kind of seeing what's working for them, what's
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of the game plan with social media. I mean, like I said, it's ever changing, so, and it's so different between different audiences. Obviously, yeah, I mean, we're more inland versus like, let's say Newport Beach, like they've got the beach going for them, and here, you know, we just got to find our little niches. So, yeah.
Yeah. We also try to collaborate with some different departments when it makes sense. So if we have, like, for instance, the 9/11 event we have coming up, we have the police chief and the fire chief that will be speaking. So we've been tagging them so that, because obviously you guys all know the police department has huge following, so we want to try to get some of that as well. So we'll invite them to be collaborators on the posts that make sense. Again, not everything. We don't expect them to accept our posts that don't make sense, but the ones that, where they really are, part of our event or what we're doing, then we'll invite them, and so that's been working as well. Yeah.
Let me throw out AI. So I was watching something the other day, and they were saying how search engines like Google and those will be gone in a few years, because if I want to know something about the city of Murrieta, I go to ChatGPT and put in city of Murrieta, and it tells me a lot more concisely than going to Google and getting 23 things. So I don't know where that all fits in with the big plan. Obviously, 10 years from now.
Right.
Yeah, I'm thinking, Laura, think of this stuff 20 years ago when we were doing this.
No, definitely not. But I was going to say the city is currently developing some AI policies and things like that. There's only certain platforms that we're able to utilize. And I don't know if it's, you know, I don't quite understand AI as far as how they get the information and different things like that. But the city is, they're forward-facing, I guess, and some of them are police department social media people, and they're looking at things, I think, ahead of us. So I think some things are around the corner. I just don't know what it is yet.
Well, I can tell a difference. I mean, and you're right, we all have ADHD when we're on social media, right? And if it's not in our face over and over again, we're going to forget. And, but I have noticed, you know, that more posting, and it's catching my attention, so whatever you're doing is working. And then I don't know if Murrieta does, but another city that I was consulting in, they had a chat bot, you know, that they had instituted, not specifically into Parks and Rec, but for the whole city. But that might be kind of fun if it's allowed, you know what I mean, as you move forward. But that's always fun, because then people can ask questions specifically to their needs. But just a thought.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I did also forget to mention is for most of our events, I've been creating the event for specifically Facebook. So those have been getting a lot of reach as well. I don't have those specific numbers, but we got a ton of people saying like interested or whatever it may be. So that's also kind of helping with outreach as well.
I don't have slides about it, but I was asked to mention kind of special events from start to finish, and if you wanted to have an event in the city, how you would go about doing that. So I just thought I would take a couple minutes and just briefly explain. So if someone wants to have a special event in the city, they would generally inquire about date and location. So say they want to have an event at Town Square Park, they would call me or Nadine and find out if the date they were looking at is available. And also the type of event, we don't accept every type of event. So there are qualifications and things like that. So at that moment, we would look at the calendar, we would look at the type of event. And then if it's something we think would work, then we would send them to our special event permit application. So I would either email it or it can be found on our events page. They would fill it out, they would submit it, and then we would either easily approve it if it's a simple, we've done this 10 years now, or if it's one that we're unsure about, we would bring it to our special event committee. Our special event committee it consists of people from pretty much every department, PD, fire, public works, municipal services, risk, planning, building and safety. We all meet the fourth Tuesday of every month, and we go over events that are upcoming that either we're unsure about or the ones that are approved to remind everyone what their role is with those events. After that, we basically give the event organizer the do's and don'ts, the conditions of approval. You can have your event, or if you can't, the reason why, and then they're able to execute their event. We ask for a minimum of 120 days in advance right now, but we're on the process of making some changes to our special events, and in particular to Town Square Park. There's currently a ad hoc subcommittee with 2 council members and some city staff that are going over ways to activate the amphitheater more often, and in doing that, we're making some changes. In addition, we're also trying to change the process for our special event applications. We're trying to use DocuSign. We're using our event software, which is called EventMe, and we're trying to kind of bring more modernization to what we were doing from before. Because I've been doing this for 18 years, and the first 17 years, it's a lot of pen and paper. It's a lot of, manual, we're accepting permits, we're doing things by hand. We're trying to be more 2025. So we're making some changes, and hopefully those changes will be big improvements. And then once all of those improvements actually happen, I'd be happy to come back and tell you guys what exactly we're doing and show you kind of the finished product. So that's just in a nutshell, special events, when someone comes in to them executing their event, how that works. And that, of course, is for outside events.
Laura, how many inquiries do you get? Is it a lot now? Are you seeing an uptick, or?
Yes,
yeah.
It is a lot. I would say we get a few a week.
Oh.
Some are like no's,
Right,
I want to have my wedding at the amphitheater. We don't do that. So that's an easy, I don't have to go to anybody and say, is this good? That's a no.
Yeah.
But some people, they have some cool events that they want to do. A lot of people want to do 5Ks. A lot of people, but there's, I want to have a 5K. Okay, well, if you want to close the Murrieta Road, you need a traffic control plan, and that costs money.
Yep.
So there's some things that they need to work through if they're an actual event that really wants to put on a successful event. And then we also, we do our own events. We do the signature events that I mentioned earlier. So we're busy, and we do get a lot of inquiries.
But you are trying to increase amphitheater usage? That's
the council would really like to activate the space more.
Okay.
And so we're looking at ways to do that.
Very cool.
When we're talking events, we're talking about things as small as, say, renting a gazebo in a park for a birthday party, or is that just?
Yeah, so that wouldn't go through me. That would go through more like Zebia over at the community center. She handles more of our small rentals and park reservations.
Right.
I do the larger events.
Okay.
So or I do all the Town Square Park events. So Town Square Park, or like a marathon, or a 5K, or a bike ride, or bigger things. I do the large. We do the larger events. We don't do the small.
Now, is there a separate fee structure for nonprofits as opposed to profit groups?
So currently, for instance, at Town Square Park, it must be a nonprofit, or it would be like more of like a business negotiated event, like with Newman. They weren't a nonprofit,
Right.
but there was a separate agreement. Everybody else does need to be a nonprofit right now. That could change, but right now that is the rule. Yeah. Anyone else have questions? All right. Thank you.
I will take, thank you. Thank you, good night. It's a long night for you guys. Okay.
I'm not going to watch football.
Okay, I'm going to have Roseanne join me for the next presentation. I wasn't sure how it would work with her up there, but she fortunately had Gretchen and Katie from the library helping this evening. So we're going to invite Roseanne down. I put together the PowerPoint, so I'll probably be the person primarily giving that, but if I get anything wrong, she's going to interject and tell me what I got wrong. So, good evening, commissioners. For discussion item number 3, Roseanne and I would like to share a very meaningful initiative. It's our Roots and Remembrance program, a tribute that brings lasting beauty to Murrieta's parks while honoring life's cherished moments. So with this program, we want to celebrate our community members' milestones, as well as allow them to reflect on remembrances in a meaningful way. These tributes allow for a greater connection in our open spaces as well. There are 2 main components for our residents, our Honor Tree and Honor Bench program. Now, we, behind the scenes, got tired of calling it Honor Tree, Honor Bench, and we wanted to come up with a more comprehensive name, and that's how we came up with Roots and Remembrance. Residents can opt for one, the other, or both. And city staff will be guiding them through the application, approval, and installation process. The fiscal impact, as noted, except for staff coordination, the program costs are borne by the applicant. So for the Honor Tree details, these are the best types of trees for our climate and our zone. These trees have been approved by our Parks Maintenance Supervisor. The eligible locations have also been approved by our Parks Maintenance Supervisor. They are at locations where there is existing irrigation in place, which will increase the viability of the trees themselves. The costs, depending on what options they kind of pick and choose from, will vary, but again, all those costs are borne by the applicant. The Honor Bench itself, the bench that we have opted for, it's a composite lumber type material. The composite material is easily maintained with removing graffiti and carvings. So if somebody took a penknife to it, it can add a little bit of heat and it would melt back into place. The locations for the bench have also been pre-approved by the Parks Maintenance Supervisor. However, he will take into consideration the wishes of the applicant. However, we want to be sure that we don't increase the maintenance burden on our staff too greatly in placing it in certain locations. So there's got to be a little bit of compromise with that respect. And then the cost for the bench that we have quoted, you note $1,600, but if the applicant finds a similar bench somewhere else, other than the locations that we have provided for the applicant, they can present that to us, and if it is a comparable material, comparable color, it would go through the Parks Maintenance Supervisor. He would review that and would approve it. So we contracted with a graphic design company. This was the first pass of the flyer that they provided us. We reviewed it, we made some recommended changes, and then in your packet on the dais, there is the final version, which is probably a little easier to see than on the display here. So with that, we are asking the board this evening to review the flyer itself. And if you find that certain things need to be changed, we would welcome that constructive feedback. Is the flyer readable? Does it contain all the necessary information? If there is anybody with landscape experience, do you suggest other types of tree species? Things like that. That's what the feedback we're looking for. So with that, that concludes my report. Did I cover everything?
Yeah, I would like to add just a few things. So prior to the flyer that you see in front of you, we did have not for the bench, just for the tree, like a tri-fold little brochure where an applicant can fill out their information and send it in. That was available on the city website. This isn't a program that's highly advertised. We're still trying to keep it not so out there.
Low-key.
Low-key, but a more professional, inviting program that combines the tree and the bench in one, in our Roots and Remembrance program, where they can choose either one. They can choose both if they like. And so Leah and I are currently working with our public information officer to create a landing page on the Parks and Recreation website where this information can be found, and then also an online application that they can fill out and submit if they choose to participate in the program.
While this program is a wonderful offering to the community, because we do this, we want to be mindful that our maintenance department has other obligations as well, and we would think that we would see weekly requests for this, and it would be difficult to timely install all of this for the applicant. They would want this in certain situations within a few weeks, and that's just not possible. So the advertising will be on the down low, but if anybody calls or asks, we certainly are prepared in offering them and having them follow through the application process.
Please. Leah, I'm just a little confused on the cost of the honor bench.
Yeah, me too.
Where it says $16.20, price of installation includes labor and concrete pad. Price does not include purchase of the bench or engraving.
So that's the installation fee. So the work has to be done at prevailing wage, and that's the cost to pour a concrete pad.
I get all that.
Okay.
So the applicant is responsible for purchasing the bench. So we have a local vendor that we've used before that we can recommend, or they can find on their own a vendor that's comparable to the same material or color that may offer a better price, but it is up to the applicant to purchase the bench and to pay for the cost of the engraving and delivery. Once it's in the hands of our maintenance team, then they will take care of the installation, which is the $16.20 amount.
So why are we
I've got to follow up, Paul, when you're finished.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
So I think, what is the cost of the bench?
It varies.
It varies around 16 up to 3,000, just depending on how fancy and how much wording they want to include.
I would tell you that I think letting them kind of go outside the program is I get that you're wanting to give them some flexibility on pricing, but I think it puts kind of more of an onus on us, your department, the maintenance department, to deal with, what could happen there as far as what they could bring to you. Then you got to have a meeting, and then you got to figure it all out. Why not just have a vendor, here are the prices?
It's actually not that time consuming. So we have we have a local vendor, and then we have two products in magazines that they can research. I doubt they will find anything more cost savings than what we provided them.
So why open it up? I mean, why? It just seems like an unnecessary complication. Then, it leads to like, well, I want my own guy to dig the ditch and put in the concrete. I mean.
They won't be able to do that.
No, I know, but I mean, why one and not the other?
Well, flexibility in the where they want to go, and the flexibility on the size of the bench. The size of the bench can be 3 feet. It can fit 1 person, 2 people, or 4 people. There's different size benches. That's solely up to the applicant of what size bench they want, and within the color scheme that fits in the parks, and so on. I wouldn't want to dictate to them on that, so we would leave it up to them.
So these are all going in a park?
Or open space, or along a trail.
There's a picture of one under a big tree. So if you had a big tree and it was in a park.
That's a stock photo.
I realize it is, but it said, hey, I could put that under that big oak tree over in the.
So all the locations, once again, have to be pre-approved by the Parks Maintenance Superintendent. Okay. But there are suggestions that we will be making. Certain individuals have approached the city requesting that the bench be at a particular park because that's where their loved one, that's their favorite park, or that's where they walked along that trail system.
I would, just personally, I would strongly recommend that the city market this as a package with a prescribed bench, and then it's our bench. It's the one that you've selected, either for, maybe you want to do a 2-person or a 4-person. I think once you open it up, it does open up give some latitude to this that we may end up regretting. I have to tell you, I'm still confused on the cost of the 1620 includes the bench or does not?
Does not include the benches.
And the bench can be anywhere from 15 to 3,000?
That's like a price range, but it just depends on the vendor they go through and the size and the engraving.
Great.
I think Chris was picturing the Iron Throne from Game of.
Well, yeah, that was my only concern, is that we're going to have benches everywhere that look totally different.
No.
Is there a theme
Yes.
or a style that they have to choose from?
So in the image on the screen,
That is the bench.
on the lower part of the flyer, that's the style of bench that they need to look for.
Okay.
The color scheme is in that vein of medium tan to dark tan. And then there's different sizes. Fits 1 person, 2 people, or 4. So it's not like a backless bench. They can't choose from that. So they have a prescribed style of bench that they have to look for if they do not wish to choose the options in the magazines that we have or go to the local vendor. So there is a style. It'll be consistent. There's one out, actually there's 3 out in Town Square Park. Same style, different sizes, similar colors.
Is this a
different
stock
engravings.
picture?
No,
one
the
on
one
the
at the
bottom
lower,
right?
that's the one at Town Square Park.
Okay.
That's one of the ones.
I would tell you that I see the bench there and everything, but I would get another picture. It's hard to kind of almost like see that that's the bench to me. There's, shadows and shade, and maybe it's just these old eyes, but.
We have other photos of that, maybe not in the shade, that we can
Yeah, I'm
swap
just
out
saying.
for a different one.
What do I know? But to me, I can't tell what I'm looking at there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or when you set it up online, when you get your interactive online surface space.
Do you see that?
You have like an option of 1 seat, 2 seat, or up to 4 seats, and they can choose it online themselves.
We have ideas for the online platform. It obviously we can't put all of the information on the flyer, so we're hoping to showcase the benches that we have already in the city, as well as the location of the trees and the plaques and so on.
On the engraving on both the, potentially at the tree and the bench, is there, is there an acceptable thing that, is there going to be a committee that says, oh, you can't say
Yes.
John Hunneman had a big mouth and all he did was talk at these meetings on the bench? And, as much as you'd like to.
All of the engravings, the proof must be submitted to the city for approval.
Okay. My only thing on the flyer is I found it, and I finally found it way down the bottom on the honor tree. And I don't know why it's in lighter print or not as, I was, okay, $150, what does that include for my 15-gallon tree? And I find way down the bottom that includes the purchase of the tree and the installation. So I would make that a little clearer.
Okay.
On the 150, that is included with that, because somebody's going to have to come out and dig a hole in the right place near the irrigation and stuff, and that's not, and I don't know, can they go to Home Depot and buy their own tree, or do they have to?
No, the tree needs to be looked at as well to make sure it's not root bound, that it doesn't have diseases, and so on.
Right.
So the tree will be picked by our landscape maintenance contractor and or the parks maintenance supervisor.
Okay, I just make the fact that the installation's included. I'd like the $1,600 for the other thing. That doesn't include the tree and the installation.
Okay. Yes.
So I love this. We used to get crazy calls about some things that people wanted to bury in our city too. But yeah, you get all kinds of interesting requests, I'm sure. So this is my other hat. So my concern is if these benches look really comfortable, and you know where I'm going to go with this, right? How do we prevent, like I see Mapleton, right? That's my neighborhood. I don't want these benches to become where the local homeless sleep, right? So, and I know there's benches specifically made to make it less appealing, but that's where my head goes, because that's what I obviously do for work. But has that been a consideration on location mostly? Like Town Square Park, the chances of a homeless dude sleeping on your bench here is minimal because the police are right there, right? I'm sure it happens, but at least you know they're going to be moved along and they're not going to be living here for weeks. But if you go to some of the, parks, and I'm not sure where all of them are, but some of the more remote ones, you do kind of maybe open up that possibility. So just a thought.
So the locations, once again, are prescribed, and they have to be pre-approved. So they will be up front and center. They're not going to be hidden along a trail where no one reviews it. So it'll be in areas that are maintained regularly by the park rangers and or our maintenance department.
I just know it can be a public safety issue if it's not strategically placed, putting things sometimes on trails, and it can just not always be a good outcome.
Yep. So we thought about that, and so all the installation again has to be pre-approved, and they will be in highly visible areas.
I want right here under this big oak tree.
You just want to go sit there right now?
Okay, so I have kind of the notes I have are the picture swapping out for one that's not so much in the shade, and then bolding that a little bit more, and then looking at other package. Okay, I think we have your comments. Are there any other comments on this item? Okay. Thank you very much for your feedback. I greatly appreciate it.
I love the name, too. I love the name.
Okay. Adopt and sponsor a trail?
Do you need help?
I still like my hat.
Just one moment while we get that PowerPoint slide deck
I
up.
don't know why she's stuck.
Okay. Good evening once again. For discussion item number 4, I just wanted to say that Murrieta's trails connect us to nature, to one another, and to a shared sense of pride. With the Adopt a Trail and the Sponsor a Trail programs, the city invites volunteers and sponsors to help keep these pathways beautiful and thriving. So for the purpose of the program, our goal is to create partnerships with residents, businesses, and organizations so that we can increase our civic engagement with the community. It is hoped that this program makes the community aware of the facilities the city offers and empowers residents and sponsors to take ownership of public spaces. The program itself, there are 2 components to it. There's the Adopt a Trail program, and now there is a Sponsor a Trail program. And again, city staff, Roseanne, will provide guidance with the application process. The discussion to the update for the Adopt a Trail program took place, if you recall, last November. And we updated the forms, the protocol, and so on, got that approved by the board. That's up and running on the website. In that discussion, it was suggested that we also offer a Sponsor a Trail program so that businesses and organizations that could not support the community trails with on-site support can do so monetarily. So we took that information and we came up with this program. So it's open to volunteers, service groups, and teams with applications and details available, hopefully on the website. We're working with the PIO right now to add an additional landing page in addition to the Adopt a Trail side. We currently have 6 trails that are adopted with on-site support and interest from another number of groups for 4 more trails. The Sponsor Trail program is an alternative option, once again, for businesses and organizations that would like to invest in the community but are unable to commit on-site support. These donations would go towards cleanup, tools, signage, receptacles, and enhancements. The fiscal responsibility portion, there are only minor costs associated with this program, but they would be covered through the Sponsor a Trail donation. So we came up with a tiered structure and what that monetary support actually provides support for. So we came up with 3 levels, $250 for level 1, $500 for level 2, and $1,000 for level 3. And as you go up the tier, the sponsorship includes all the previous levels from the previous tier.
That's an annual fee?
Excuse me?
That's an annual fee?
It would be, it would support the trail maintenance for 1 year.
Okay.
Yes. So if they wanted to renew their sponsorship, they would do that annually.
So do you foresee that, I could foresee that a family would maybe do a sponsor, not just that don't have the resources or, maybe they live outside the city and they want to sponsor it for their grandchildren or something. Do you foresee that?
Oh, absolutely. We're not limiting it to Murrieta businesses, organizations, or civic groups. We would welcome anybody, even outside of the city, if they want to beautify our trails. We will not just limit it to local entities.
And they do also have the option to do both if they choose. They can, if they've, we have several trails that are already adopted. The sponsor trail, we haven't put that into effect yet, but once we do, if they're interested in also sponsoring the trail, that they can do that as well.
Just a thought then, unless I've missed something here, this verbiage is all directed to businesses and organizations. We might want to tweak it a little bit to encourage that side of it. Just a thought.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely, 100%. Along with this, so we because we're adding the Sponsor a Trail program in addition to the Adopt a Trail program, so it's kind of a two-pronged oversight program, and we wanted to maybe brand it and provide some unique advertising opportunities, if you will. So what we did is, instead of constantly saying adopt a trail, sponsor a trail, we now are calling the program Choose Your Path. So what we came up with is branding and marketing that echoes our current marketing logo for the city. So we took the sun from the marketing logo for the city and made it look more like a compass. And because we have two options to choose from to support the trails, it's Choose Your Path, and with two sides with a path running through it. So that's our main logo for the Choose Your Path program. And once again, it echoes the Murrieta signature sun element. And what we wanted to do is create opportunities again for branding and marketing on t-shirts, hats, compasses, any of the giveaways that you would see at the market night or State of the City or any of our events. So it would encourage people to investigate more about the program. They get some cool hats, t-shirts, or things to keep. And the marketing logo, we have different options within that same branch. So we have the main Choose Your Path logo with the compass, but we also have more of an elongated look to the logo, as well as black and white, the block style logo, and to fit on whatever it is we want to market. So this is the branding that we came up with. This is why we believe it works. It echoes the City of Murrieta's marketing logo, and it has the same color scheme that the marketing logo has as well. So the first flyer that we got from our graphic artist, we had some changes to it. And then they made those changes, and this is the final draft copy of the flyer. You have a hard copy in front of you on the dais, which is probably easier to see than on the display. And then we're asking for the board feedback again on the logo, the brand, the color scheme, whether the flyer is readable, whether it conveys the information, whether the tier amounts are appropriate. We already have the recommendation to maybe change the language from businesses and organizations to make it a more broader, encompassing other groups. So that is where what we're asking you this evening is your feedback on the information that we've compiled as a first pass for this second side of the same coin, Choose Your Path program.
I would agree that opening this up, especially maybe the $250 or the $500 level to the Smith family wants to sponsor the trail near their house or whatever, and putting families or individuals on there, maybe Grandpa used to walk that trail, and something to do in memory of them. I'm loving the fact that for an extra $250 you get a dog waste receptacle, but do you get your name on that too, or is
Pretty cool, right?
yeah, I realize it's a necessity out there, and it's and that's important to some people, but that would be the only thing I could see is to add the opportunities for individuals or families, or to sponsor. I think that it just throws it open to a lot more people too. We get a lot of trails.
So we'll work with our PIO on more inclusive language that broadens the availability that people can apply for other organizations to apply, or families.
And then how much is the trailhead sign? It says one trailhead sign with business name.
It's not that much. It's 45? Yeah, it's about $45.
Right here, it's only $45?
Yeah.
How big is the sign? And that will be...
It's about 2 by 3.
And that'll be right at the trailhead?
Yes, and that's, the trailhead sign is for both programs.
Right.
So for the Adopt a Trail, they have a trailhead sign as well that says this trail is adopted by, and then if they were to sponsor one, it would be similar. It would just say sponsored by.
Okay. And then the rest of those funds that when let's say I do level 1, it's $45. So the next $200 is going to go towards maintenance of the trail for the year?
It's going for the supplies. So it'll help support the Adopt a Trail side because there are equipment purchases that we need to have on the Adopt a Trail side that we provide those individuals.
Yeah, so when a family or an organization decides to adopt a trail, we, the city, we provide trash bags, safety vests, trash pickers that they can come pick up in advance, use for the cleanup, and then they return them. So part of that $250 would go towards purchasing those supplies that can be used for the Adopt a Trail side of the program.
They often get broken or lost.
Well, yeah, that's what I was looking at. That is the price point, is that sufficient? Because how many trash pickups will there be organized throughout that year?
Yeah, well, like Leah mentioned, right now we have 6 active. We have interest in 4 more. We're hoping this is a program that we do want to advertise and get more signups for. We are reaching out to the high schools, the counselors at the high schools, to offer the Adopt a Trail side for community service hours. And so we're hoping that this will grow. So it will be more of a need.
Yeah.
So for example, Target has adopted the trail system at Los Alamos Hills Sports Park, and they come out with 40 people. We don't have 40 trash pickers every time. So they have to kind of go 2 by 2. The same thing with the vests.
Okay.
But if a family, say, adopted a trail, we're not expecting the family to go out there and pick up trash.
Gretchen, would you like to answer that question?
To sponsor, I'm talking about sponsoring, because we talked about this, say Sam's Sub Shop wants to sponsor a trail. Are we expecting the employees of Sam's Sub Shop to go out there? No.
Not on the sponsor side.
No, but I'm talking about sponsoring a trail. If the Smith family decided to sponsor a trail.
The sponsoring is purely monetarily, unless they also want to adopt a trail.
Right. But that would be, say, the it's a late evening. The Public Works would go do their regular cleaning of the trail on a trail that's sponsored by the Smith family or whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So Gretchen Sedlacek, actually, her family has adopted a trail. And if you're curious about families and what they do and how often they go out, Gretchen can answer those questions for you.
Now, a lot of our trails have two ends.
Multiple ends, more than two.
Yeah, so we're just going to have a sign at one end.
Yes.
So if I come into this trail at the other end and say I start down here, I may not have a sign until I get to the end.
So I see where you're going.
Okay.
So with that, we are choosing the trailhead that is the most highly trafficked.
Okay.
Gretchen, I know I sent that to you twice. Do you want to provide some feedback on what you and your husband do?
Sure, yeah, I'd be happy to. So my husband Michael and I adopted the Rail Ranch Trail. It's in our neighborhood, so it's one that we frequently walk anyway with our dog, and our kids went to school there, so it's our neighborhood trail. And we go out about once a month, and we have our pickers and our trash bags, and typically fill up 2 to 3 good-size hefty bags full of bottles and trash and various things. And we really enjoy it. I encourage everybody to consider it. It's been very meaningful for us, and we like knowing that we're contributing to our local trail that, you know, that we see, and we can keep it clean. We were just there, in fact, Tuesday night. Yes.
So if you're going out a couple times a month, that probably means Public Works isn't in picking up 3 bags worth of trash. That probably means Public Works is not focusing on that trail.
Well, trails aren't seen to on a daily basis by Parks Maintenance. They are seen to not as frequently as the parks do. And right now, Parks Maintenance is going through some reorganization right now. It's the brand new Municipal Services Department, which has Parks Maintenance, Road Maintenance, Facilities Maintenance, Fleet, and Capital. So it's a brand new department, and so they're still going through some growing pains, and their staffing levels aren't still what they ought to have been back before COVID, and they're working to increase that. So the more highly trafficked parks, of course, are their focus, and they get to the trail systems as often as they can.
So you had 6 adopted trails, and that's been driven by an online presence for that program since November. Are you happy with that, or were you hoping for more? Or?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Prior to that, we had about 3, so we've doubled maybe since, and that's with little to no advertising as of yet. It's just kind of word of mouth or people who have gone onto the website and expressed interest. So we're hoping once we have the flyer finalized and the landing page is complete and set up, then we can start advertising more and getting more applicants.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so we have, what was the comment about broadening the language? Okay, so we have your comments. Thank you very much. So we will recommend those changes to the graphic artist. And our next step for both of these programs, so Choose Your Path, as well as Roots and Remembrance, is to start working with our PIO on creating the landing pages and the platforms on the website, creating the quick links, and those QR codes that you see on the flyers, they're dummy QR codes, so we'll get ones that actually work.
Just a quick point, I love the logo and the branding.
Mm-hmm.
It really speaks to.
Oh, thank you.
It's very, very modern, and it's good.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was, I tasked Roseanne with that, and she utilized AI to start with, and we couldn't refine it much more than our very limited technology capabilities could manage. So that's why we hired a graphic artist to help us with that. But it was her initial design that brought us to that logo. Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, commissioners. It's great to be able to see you on this side.
Okay. The last item on the agenda is our agenda forecast. This report aims to facilitate a productive discussion regarding the future topics of Parks and Recreation Commission agenda. Would the commission like to add, modify, delete anything that's listed on here? And as a caveat, we did not include the discussion that will be on the November meeting regarding the flock camera deployment. I just wanted to make sure when it was going to council. I didn't want to put it on November until I knew that it was going to council on the 16th. So that will be on the November agenda, would be the discussion of the flock cameras.
There'd really be nothing to discuss at that point, though, would there?
Just providing the commission with an update on the deployment plan, what the cameras do, where they're located, what we hope that they will provide a decrease in the vandalism and the criminal activity that's taking place at that park, providing you that update, the timeline for installation, things like that.
Does anybody see anything right now, or we can always revisit this at the next meeting also?
Yes. But I think November is going to be fairly full as well.
Okay. Anything? Okay. So all of these discussions are for receive and file, and with that, we're going to see if anybody has any announcements. Any of the commissioners have any announcements, miscellaneous reports or announcements? Anybody have anything?
I am grateful for the name tags. That would be our city manager.
That would be our new city manager.
Which I think will identify us a little bit more clearly as we go to the parks and ask residents what they're thinking about and what they like and what they don't like. So I appreciate that. I also want to bring up, because I saw this today on the city website, or maybe it's the police department, Corporal Matt Mozingo is retiring from the police department. And
yes.
I thought that was very well done. Matt, I went to the Police Citizens Academy about 10 years ago, probably about now, and he ran that for many years. He might still
I think he still has a hand in it.
He probably does, but I would encourage people, if they see an opportunity, to get into that. Or I saw that the city is doing their city academy, or City Hall Academy, which I have not done yet because I spend too much time here. But if you want to learn how the city and the fire department, the police department works, it's an opportunity to get a little insight into what these people do for us all the time, all day. And, but I wanted to congratulate Matt and wish him the best as he moves on, so.
Yeah.
Just real quickly, I wanted to thank you, Leah, that trash that was in the trees at
Oh,
the
yes.
sports park was picked up the next morning. So
Excellent.
thank you.
Thank you.
Then that will be the announcements, and if there's no Okay, let's see, beat up old man here. Okay, we adjourn this meeting at 8:39, and we will see everyone in November.